Welcome to this deep dive.
Hello.
Today, we're cracking open some really fascinating resources.
We are. It's all about how we can talk about art, more clearly, maybe more creatively, too.
Exactly. We've looked through some great stuff, hoping to give you some practical ways to feel, well, more confident when you're looking at art.
Whether that's in a big gallery or, just something on the street that catches your eye.
Our mission today is pretty straightforward. Equip you with tools, insights, vocabulary.
So you can jump into those art conversations.
Right. We'll focus on understanding the basics of art discussion and pick up some useful language, make it less intimidating, more fun.
And remember, art isn't just for museums. Our sources really emphasize that it's about expressing feelings, thoughts, imagination.
It's everywhere, really, in so many forms.
Okay, so to get us started, let's think about someone, let's call her Anna.
Anna, okay.
Apparently she loved art from when she was really small. Started with crayon animals.
Classic. I think many of us started there.
Totally. But her story shows how personal that connection can be. She learned techniques, studied famous artists, but then she had this moment.
The museum experience.
Yes, a modern art museum. And there was this painting, just 3 colors.
3 colors? What were they?
Blue, red, and black. Super simple, apparently.
Wow, and that just resonated.
Completely captivated her. It wasn't about complexity. It was just this feeling it gave her.
It's amazing how something seemingly minimal can provoke such a strong reaction, isn't it?
That's the fascinating part. That direct emotional hit. It wasn't about theory for her.
Just a gut feeling.
Exactly. Which is core to experiencing art, right? How you connect with it.
And this experience actually led her to create something herself.
It did. She went home, inspired, and painted this watercolor. A tree in the rain.
Oh, nice.
She really focused on blending the colors softly, kind of echoing that simple intensity she'd seen.
And how did that turn out?
Well, it did this. It won second prize at a local art show.
No way! That's fantastic. Really shows how seeing art can spark your own creativity.
Absolutely. And her teacher's encouragement was key too, apparently. Now painting's her big weekend thing.
A source of calm self-expression.
Totally. And she dreams of having her own exhibition someday.
What a great story. It underlines that art is for everyone appreciating it, making it.
Definitely.
Okay, so building on Anna's experience, let's equip ourselves to talk about our moments like that. Let's dive into some language tools the sources highlight. Phrasal verbs first.
Good idea. These are super useful. Little verb preposition combos with new meanings.
Yeah.
They add nuance.
Right, like draw up.
Yes. That means to create a plan or a sketch. Like she drew up a new painting idea. It's that initial stage.
Laying the groundwork. Okay, and then work on.
That's about spending time improving something. Yeah. He worked on a sculpture for days. Shows dedication.
Makes sense. How about stand out?
That means being noticeable, distinct.
Yeah.
Her drawing stood out in the gallery. It catches your eye.
Obvious visual impact. Could an artist ever want their work not to stand out? Maybe.
Interesting question. Perhaps for subtlety, to draw you in closer.
Maybe. Okay, next.
Blend in. When colors or elements mix smoothly, the colors blended in beautifully. Think soft transitions.
Like in Anna's watercolor, perhaps?
Could be. Then starting a new hobby.
Yeah.
I took up painting last month. Beginning the journey.
Got it. And touch up.
Making small improvements at the end. She touched up the background. Those final little fixes.
The polishing stage.
All right. Fill in is about coloring or completing a specific area. He filled in the sky with light blue, adding the detail.
Bringing parts of the picture to life.
And if you're proud, you show off your work.
Yeah.
They showed off their best artwork, displaying it proudly.
Nothing wrong with that.
Then there's cutout, removing shapes maybe for a collage. We cut out shapes for the collage. A bit more hands-on.
Or digitally too, I suppose.
True. And finally, simply look at. Observing carefully, I looked at the details in the painting. Close examination.
Okay, these are really useful for describing the process.
Definitely more active.
Yeah. Now, let's talk collocations. Those word pairs that just sound right together in English when discussing art.
Yes, the natural pairings. Like art gallery. Pretty
Yeah.
straightforward place to see art.
Right. In creative process.
That covers the whole journey, doesn't it? Idea to finished piece.
All the steps. Then bold colors.
Strong, bright colors. They really grab your attention. Artists use them for energy, confidence, maybe even conflict sometimes.
Good point. It's not just about being loud. And the opposite almost is fine details.
Exactly. Those small, precise elements that reward close looking.
You see the artist's skill there? What about brush strokes?
The actual marks made by the brush can be very unique to an artist's style. They'll tell you a lot about their technique.
And the range of colors used is the color palette,
Yes, the specific selection an artist makes.
which contributes to their overall artistic style.
Their unique way of doing things, their signature look.
And art often conveys a visual message, right?
Definitely. Communicating ideas or feelings through images. So if we see that lone figure,
We could say it really stands out,
maybe because the artist used bold colors for the clothes.
creating a strong visual message about isolation, perhaps? See, we're using the terms.
We are.
Hmm.
Okay, two more. Mixed media.
Using different materials together, like paint and photos.
Exactly. More than one medium. And finally, abstract painting.
Art that isn't trying to look like something realistic, more about shapes, colors, feelings.
Precisely. So now we have this richer vocabulary, but we also need to watch out for common mistakes.
Yes, the grammar pitfalls. Always good to be aware.
For instance, you wouldn't say, I like make art.
Right. It's I like making art, or I like to make art. That ing, or to, is often needed after verbs like.
And talking about the past. She drew a nice picture yesterday, not she draw. Need that past tense.
Simple, but easy to forget. What about adjectives?
Good one. The painting was boring. It caused boredom.
Not the painting was bored. Paintings don't usually have feelings like that.
Huh, exactly. And plurals. He used red and yellow colors.
Not dot color. And again, past tense. He used.
Prepositions matter too. We saw art on TV, generally not in TV.
Subtle, but sounds more natural.
And don't forget helping verbs. I'm going to the museum, not I going.
Need that am, is, or are.
Subject-verb agreement too. That picture has many details.
Because picture is singular, not that picture have.
And after enjoy, use the ing form. She enjoys painting.
Not she enjoy to paint.
Similarly, I love seeing art. Sounds a bit more natural than I love to see art in many contexts. And art here is usually uncountable.
So not arts. Got it.
Last one. Adjective versus noun. My friend is very talented.
Right. Talented is the adjective describing the friend, not my friend is very talent. Talent is the noun.
Phew. Just being mindful of those can make a big difference in sounding confident.
Absolutely. Okay, so we have the words. We know the common errors. How do we make our descriptions really expressive?
Well, our sources suggest using really descriptive adjectives. Don't just say nice. Say luminous, intricate, dynamic, thought-provoking.
Paint a picture with words.
Exactly. And talk about feelings. How does it make you feel? Peaceful, inspired, confused, uneasy. Share that.
Adds a personal layer. Makes it more engaging to listen to.
And mention tools or materials if you can tell. Was it charcoal, oil paint, clay? It adds context.
Good tips. And what about just feeling more comfortable while speaking? Any advice there?
Yeah, a couple of things. First, maybe slow down a bit when describing. Gives you time to think.
Good idea. Less rushing.
Use your hands sometimes. Gesturing can help describe size, shape, movement within the piece.
Makes it more dynamic.
And maybe take a small pause before stating a strong opinion. It can make you sound more considered.
Okay. These are all really practical strategies.
So yeah, hopefully bringing all this together makes the whole idea of talking about art feel, well, more accessible.
I think so. You've got vocabulary like phrasal verbs and collocations.
You know, some common mistakes to avoid.
And strategies to be more expressive and confident.
So you're much better equipped now to dive into those conversations.
Definitely. So here's where we turn it over to you, the listener. Think about a piece of art you've seen recently. Anything.
Painting, sculpture, street art, maybe even something you made.
Okay, now try describing it. Challenge yourself. Use, say, 3 phrasal verbs and 3 collocations from our list today.
What stood out? What was the creative process, maybe? Was it abstract painting or realistic?
Did the artist use bold colors? Did you look at the fine details? How did the color palette make you feel?
And crucially, what feelings did it stir up? Did you feel like you wanted to take up painting yourself?
It's like the sources said, engaging with this language really does help us see and maybe say things differently.
It truly enhances the whole experience.
So for your own exploration, maybe pay attention this week to how other people talk about art. Listen to the words they use.
Does their language change how you see the piece they're describing? It's pretty interesting to notice.
It really is. Well, thank you for taking this deep dive with us today.
Yes, thank you. We genuinely love to hear your thoughts or even your descriptions using these new tools in the comments.
Let us know how you get on. Goodbye for now.